Okay. Now we will slowly move to another important concept called inter-process communication. Okay. I am dividing it into three different terms. One is process. Everybody knows about process nowadays. Another one is inter-process means what? Inter, the word inter coming means already you can understand more than one process. Correct? Minimum two process, because within one process you cannot communicate. The inter process means already more than one process is available. So inter process, what I'm going to do? Communication. Okay. If more than one process is available and if those processes are communicating, that is referred as inter process communication. Communication taking place between two processes. Communication taking place between more than one process. Okay. Here, first thing you should understand is, suppose 10 students are communicating among themselves, like that one statement I'm using. Okay. 10 students are communicating. That means what? At any given time, one person can communicate with other person only. It is not broadcasting, it is inter process means what? Between two processes. So between two persons only communication can be done. If A and B are communicating, if A wants to communicate with the C, AB communication must be terminated or must be placed in wait state, then only A can communicate with the C. Okay, A wants to communicate with the D, again B will be waiting, C will be waiting, and he will go for D. At any given time, two processes will be communicating among themselves if there is only one link. If more than one link, anybody can communicate with any other person. Okay, that and all different. So what I want to confirm is communication taking place between two processes. That is referred as inter-process communication. Okay. First concept under inter-process communication is process categories. There are two types of process. One is independent process. Another one is dependent or communicating process. Okay, first one, independent process means what? A process that is not affecting any other process and not getting affected by any other process. Okay, so many processes are there: process P1, process P2, process P3, process P4, process P5, like that. So many processes there. Normally we used to tell standard. Suppose if there is a process P1 which doesn't require any information or any help from all these process, that is one condition. And all these process doesn't want any information from P1, then it is referred as independent process. Okay, so P1 also doesn't want anything from others. Others also doesn't want anything from P1. That is referred as independent process. Okay, so not affecting any other process and not getting affected by all these process. That is referred as independent. Okay. Second one, cooperating or communicating or dependent. So the word cooperate already means they need help from one another. Okay. Now how you are changing the statement? A process that affects other process also getting affected by other process. That means what? P1 wants some information from this process and this process also wants some information from P1. Okay. Now another situation I'm giving. P1 wants some information from P2 and P2 wants some information from P1. What does it mean? P1 and P2 are cooperating, not others. Okay, only P1 and P2 are cooperating. Okay, P3. Now the question will come, what is the need for process cooperation? Why a process have to cooperate with others? Okay, simple answer. Why you need help from others? Or at what situation you will need help from others? If anybody says, I don't want anybody's help, I will also not help anybody, then that is different. Okay. Plus or minus, positive or negative, he will be responsible. Now, some persons may want help from others, and he will also ready to help others at what situation or what is the necessity. Okay. First one, information sharing. This is very important concept when we are talking about a computer field. Okay, computer field is all about information sharing. So one statement I'm writing, C is equal to C is equal to ABS of 10. So what does it mean? Absolute value of 10, also referred as a function, also referred as built-in function. Okay, this function is already available in C language. I am just using the name ABS. Okay. The program for ABS will be available in header files, correct? The program for ABS will be available in header files. Okay. That header files will be available in the C compiler. Okay. This is person P1 is using the statement. In the same lab, person P10 wants to execute that same process, same line he will write, and he will use the same program only. That means what? ABS program is one only. That one program is shared by all 60 persons in the particular lab. This is what we are talking about information sharing. Okay. So what is the main advantage of information sharing? See, listen. P1. Okay. P1 is having some information. Okay. P2 is having some other information. P3 is having some other information. Okay. All three informations are different. And all three wants the information means what? They can share among themselves. 100 MB data is there. I don't want to help anybody. I don't want anybody's help. Then I should have the 100 MB data on my own in my computer. I am ready to share. This 100 MB will be distributed to 10 different persons, each 5 MB. Okay, so memory utilization will be high. So each 5 MB will be shared by all other process. P1 will share with P2, P3 up to P10. P5 will be sharing P1 to P4 and P6 to P10. One important advantage is information sharing. Okay. Another information important advantage, computing speed up. Of course, one work is done by a work that is that requires 10 hours to complete. One person is doing that work. He will take 10 hours. 10 persons are doing that work. They will take only 1 hour. Okay, it will be distributed. All 10 will work in parallel. Then it can be completed within 1 hour. Okay. Then, of course, modularity, as you know, C program is a modular programming. I already told all those examples, modularity. And last one, convenience. Okay, it will be ease of use. It will help the user to be comfortable or to be convenient with the process. Okay, process categories and need for process cooperation. Okay. Process needs a communication mechanism to cooperate among themselves. Now, how this process will communicate? Okay, how this process will communicate? If it is a cooperating process, that concept is termed as inter-process communication. It is having two types or two models. One is through message passing, another one is through shared memory. Okay, see the diagram, message passing. So process P is there, process B is there, process C. So many processes may be available in the memory. And this memory is having one separate block called the message block. Okay, so using this message block only, process A and B can communicate. What does it mean? Process A wants to communicate with B means A will be placing the message in message queue. B wants to communicate with the C means B will be placing the message in the message queue. And D wants to communicate with the E. Now D will be placing the message in the message. So whenever a process wants to communicate with other process, it will convey the message, it will convey the process or communication or contents using messages or through messages. That message will be placed in the message queue. Okay, that we will discuss in the second class. Next class, we will discuss that only. Okay. Another way of communication is shared memory. As I already told, A and B will have a common memory, that is shared by A and B. They can communicate through the memory. Okay, two ways of communication. One is through message, another one is through memory. Message means one common message block will be there in the memory. That is common place which can be shared by all other process, but message will be placed in the particular block only. But here it is individual. It is only between process A and B. Okay, B wants to communicate with the C, they will have one shared memory. Okay, individual or dedicated shared memory between B and the C. F and G wants to communicate, they will have one dedicated shared memory between. So any two process will share a common memory, that is IPC using shared memory. Two different models are there in IPC. One is message passing, another one is shared memory.